Gears 5 review. So, I played Gears 5 campaign on hardest difficulty, the so-called insane difficulty, and it was really hard and really frustrating. My first advice about Gears 5, just play the game with mouse and keyboard, and harder difficulties, they're made for co-op campaign runs. Don't do it alone. Just don't suffer as I did. Put this thing on a 4K TV, lay in your bed, play with a friend on easier difficulties with a bloody gamepad. This is how this game was meant to be played. I had fun with Gears 5. It's definitely Microsoft Store biggest game in 2019. So let's go to sections and rate Gears 5 properly. First section is the story. Swarm is taking over the world, you're there to stop it. Simple as that. Story was never the main point of Gears. The beauty of story lies through mini action packed cutscenes that are done very well. I never felt connected with any of Gears 5 characters, especially the female character that you get to play in the main campaign. She is dull, boring, and unrealistic. This should be a man's game. Only character that brings charm to the game is Marcus. Everyone else are just there to be there. 5 out of 10 for story. Next section, game bugs and optimization. A few crashes here and there. I was playing on Nvidia, by the way. Companion bugs and glitches are all over the place too. The good thing about Gears 5 is its stability. It's really optimized well and it keeps stable frame rate from start to finish on ultra settings. I'm aware that many people have issues with the game, but I never experienced stutters, lags, or frame drops. In that case, we give it 8 out of 10. Game time. Next section. Well, it took me around 23 hours to finish the game on insane difficulty. So game time really depends on what difficulty you play on. On easier difficulties, this is top 6 to 12 hour game. Now, have in mind that Gears 5 also offers PvE, PvP, and many more challenges in multiplayer, so campaign has little replay value, but at least there are plenty of multiplayer options. 8 out of 10 for game time. Game difficulty. It's brutal, at least on hardest difficulty it's brutal. You get one-shotted by everything in the game. It's a bit cheap too. I wouldn't mind getting one-shotted at all if the same rules apply for enemies too. But no, some tard decided that enemies are bullet sponges, your companions are squishy and useless, and you need to place at least 30 bullets in their head if you want to kill them. So bottom line, same rules do not apply for you and for your enemies. My advice, just play the game on easier difficulties, it's really not worth suffering. 7 out of 10 for game difficulty, it's not balanced well. Maps and graphics. Dungeons, caves, snow, desert, and city. They covered a lot of different areas. Minimap is done well. You'll never get lost. Side quests are also included in snow areas and desert areas of the game. Legend is clear, simple, and basically the entire UI is user-friendly. Graphics are really great, it's a gorgeous game. Red Desert part and bloody red sand in that area looks like crap though. Like that environment came from a different game. All in all, I'll give this section a 9 out of 10, would be a 10 out of 10 if they did desert part better. Next section is gameplay, the most important part in the game. It's a third-person shooter, so there is plenty of shooting, so what do you do in this game? You duck, cover, shoot, reload, repeat. After you kill everything that moves on the map, comes the most painful part. The most painful part is loot, or better say looting, spending 5 to 10 minutes deciding with what arsenal you'll enter the next fight, searching for one single upgrade material in the corners non-fucking stop. That's about it. For what it wants to be, shooting is fine. Looting part of the game is a huge pain in the ass. 8 out of 10 for gameplay. Leveling and itemization. Next section. Only thing you level up in this game is Jack, your robot, whatever the fuck he is. He will provide cloak, stuns, traps, shields, and healing. Leveling is quite simple and with very little options. Exploration will reward you with additional components to level up Jack's abilities. I would mention microtransactions for this part, but I'm keeping it for the end. Items you find are collectibles, guns, and ammo. That's all there is to it. Guns come in different forms, from regular pistols and machine guns to melee weapons, snipers, and bombs. All in all, leveling is simple and it's a no-brainer, 5 out of 10 for this section. NPCs and enemies. I never got to care about single companion or the main protagonist. They're all dumb, boring, and predictable. The only NPC in the game I cared about is a robot named Jack and, yeah, Marcus. Enemies, on the other hand, are in 90% of cases swarm enemies with bunch of armor on them and of course best auto-aiming system ever. Enemy variety is there, from robots to different types of swarm and a bit of locust too. All in all, I'll give this section a 6 out of 10. Last section is music and sound. Great music, great voice acting, even though they're speaking bullshit and some very cliche lines during the entire campaign. What's greatest about Gears 5 is probably sound effects. They're on spot. When a bomb explodes, you'll hear it and you'll feel it. That's how good sound effects are. 10 out of 10 for music and sound. Conclusion. We got 67 points in 9 sections and that would be 7.4 out of 10 for Gears 5. And now here comes -2 on overall score because of microtransactions. I cannot approve that bullshit in games and I'll never will. Gears 5 will get 5.4 out of 10 as the final score. Now let's sum it up. Strong action, unfair and very cheap one-shot harder difficulties. Smart AI from enemies, very dumb AI from your companions. A bit of bugs, few crashes, works great though on ultra settings, solid campaign and environment if we exclude the stupid story. Gears 5 shines the most in its open action cutscenes and how it transitions player to actual gameplay from those cool cutscenes. Multiplayer offers PvE, PvP, time challenges, daily and weekly challenges, but frankly there are far better games for multiplayer than Gears 5. Now, should you buy or wait for sale? Frankly, just wait till Gears 6 is out, then Gears 5 will cost around $5. I would do that. If you don't have anything else to play and you enjoy shooters, then go ahead and buy it. You won't be disappointed for sure. My opinion is this game is uber overpriced right now.
This journal says their new camp got wiped out, so they ran here. And got attacked again. We should try to find them. Tell them about Uncle. Del, down here. Marcus, there's no facility here. It's all old-growth forest.
Trust me, it's there.
So does Jen know about this place?
Every First Minister's known, and they all did the same thing. Posted guards and tried to keep it a secret.
Secrets, huh? There's a lot of that going around these days.
Let me know when you're getting close. Control out.
Del, the storm's getting closer.
Oh. Great.
Here we go. Another cog seal. We're in the right place. Through here.
You went off your own. You don't care about any of us.
Who could trust you now?
Let's find a way out of here.
tell. Pods.
Outsiders, cogs, swarm. We're the only ones who haven't been.